Good morning, everyone. This is Diane Murray at Southern Art Gallery, and today I'm painting this cute little still life that I found on Pixabay. And I have already painted this in oil, and it was just so much fun to do. I thought I would do it in watercolor so you could see the difference in between the oils and the watercolors. This is an Arches pad that I'm painting on. I've actually taped around the edge here because this block has been separating, which apparently is a problem with the Arches blocks. And other artists have identified this problem as well. So, I have started my underlying washes. I basically made up a wash, a nice dark black, and I keep a tray of black made up, and this is actually a combination of Payne's Gray, Indanthrene Blue, and Indigo. And sometimes I'll throw a different color in if I want to push it more to the red, more to the black, more to the blue. It just depends. But I do keep the dark mixture made up on hand. I've also mixed up this is basically a leaf green right here. This is, these are the colors I've already used. There's your Payne's Gray, there's your leaf green, this is green apatite, this is sap green, and this is raw sienna with a little green mixed in there. This is quinacridone magenta. This is Pyrrole Red Deep by Core. This is quinacridone violet, and this is ultramarine blue. And I've just been tweaking these colors. This is actually Indian yellow. And this is the underpainting basically. And I went ahead and dropped in the dark first, just so that I can establish my lights and my darks here. Let's move this over a little bit. So, I've pre-wet my paints, which I always do. And I use a special mixing brush, which I suggest my students do, so that all my mixtures are consistently of the same pigment water dilution. So, now that I have the light green established, I'm going to go in and put in my mid-tones. My mid-tones are going to be a little bit of Cascade Green, which I'll just mix right into this mixture. So this is harmonious. This brush is a little holds too much water at this stage, so I think I will get a we'll just use this one. This is an Escoda Versatile number 8. And we'll drop in some of these mid greens in here just for some interest. And not everywhere, because we want some different colors in these little onions. And then I'll add a little bit of a tiniest bit of ultramarine blue to that to get this bluer color that's at the very tip up here. It's just a little bit more blue in the green. And carry that down here and there. In nature, the colors are rarely, it's rarely one consistent wash of color on anything that's in nature. So you'll generally find that you'll be using variations of colors. Now this is the sap green. I'm going to put some of that in here. And you can see that I've drawn this a bit differently than the one in the photo, which you can certainly do. There's no rule about that. And these are generally lighter at the base and deep in the center here. This is very dark up here. And we'll get it darker as we go. It's just, I like to layer when I paint rather than just going in all at once and making it the color, which is, if you paint everything in one go, it's called alla prima. And in watercolor, some people do that, but I don't tend to do that. I tend to build up gradually. And that's going to have to be white right there. And we'll just kind of soften these edges. Okay, we'll see how that looks. All right. So now I want to make this this onion here softer. So I'm going to wet it first. And then, because this is quite an orange, I'm going to go in with a burnt sienna on this edge right here. And because it's wet, we should get a soft merging, which we are. Pushing it a little bit more to the orange side, and it's darker over here on this side. And I'm going to soften this edge, so I'm going to carry this right into this onion as well. Because I don't want that to be a really hard edge there. It's nice to have continuity in your paintings from one shape to another. I have these just touching right here. I kind of wanted it that way in this particular painting. Okay, so this has a lot of kind of a dull black on it, so I don't want it to be that dark. So I just took the Payne's Gray. I'm just lightly going to suggest some of these lines that onions have, and some of this up in here. This is all dark up in here, so we're going to go ahead and lose that edge a little bit. Just give us a little bit of suggestion there. And we'll go back over that with another wash and soften these lines. Or we can just do it with water. Anytime you have a hard edge, you can go back in and soften it just with water. Okay, we'll let that dry. Now I want to go in with a basic wash on this onion right here, and I don't usually use white, but I'm just going to use a clear wash of water over this with the tiniest bit of green in it, and maybe a little bit of raw sienna and green, just to tint it so that it has the shadow. As you can see the shadow right here. The shadow on this side, it's particularly dark here, and we'll probably have to build that gradually. And take it on down here. You want to build your shadows gradually if you can, so they're softer. A little bit of a shadow here. Okay. little up in here. Okay.